This is by far my most important video so far this year. So pay very close attention and watch the entire video to get the full picture. Earnings are about to come out, and these are the 5 most important things that you need to know going into earnings. Otherwise, you're going to get hit in the face. And at the end of the video, I'll share my personal opinions about earnings as well. And once again, I got to reiterate, NIOs are very good quality cars, and you guys gotta buy a NIO. It's absolutely fantastic. Please go test drive the vehicle. If you want to buy a NIO in China, scan this QR code. If you want to buy a NIO in Europe, use my app invite code. Also, Moomoo right now is doing a special promotion. You can get up to 16 free stocks when you sign up, and also a $100 voucher when you use my link down below. So please go take advantage of that. Banger detail number 1. Near the end of 2022 last year, national EV subsidies was about to run out. And if you couldn't take delivery of an EV in 2022, you would miss out on that subsidy. Well, a lot of NIO customers that had their orders in late 2022 could not get their deliveries in 2022. The delivery date for them was in 2023. So a lot of them wanted to cancel their orders and buy something else that they could take delivery in 2022 and get that subsidy, aka Tesla. So what NIO did, which was really smart, was NIO said, don't cancel the order. Even if you take delivery of the car in 2023, we're still going to give you the subsidized pricing, and NIO is going to provide that subsidy. NIO is going to pay for the difference, which was really genius back then, and that prevented a lot of orders from being canceled, and orders are very important. But that also means that in 2023, especially in Q1, a lot of the deliveries were subsidized, and not by the government, but by NIO. So straight off the bat, you can tell that vehicle margins could suffer slightly as a result of this. Important factor number 2 is during Q1 and also Q2, NIO ran an internal promotion. And this was because, of course, sales were tough. Customers were hard to come by. So what they did is, instead of trying to sell everything to the customers, you can also try to sell cars to fellow NIO employees. So if you were a NIO employee and you bought a NIO, you would get 20,000 RMB off, which is a pretty good deal. And also, this is a special promo. NIO offered unlimited free battery swap forever again, but it's only for employees. So internal employees, you buy a NIO, you get free battery swap forever for free, which was really nice. And a lot of NIO employees did end up placing the order, and you can tell in the NIO app if a NIO employee has that light blue badge. That means they've placed an order, and there was a lot of them with the light blue badge. These orders in Q1 were actually, some of them, portion of them, from NIO employees, and that was also, discounted. They got the employee discount. So they ran this promo. Very important that you know about that. Factor number 3, because of the product switch, NT1 cars like my car, EC6, was going to be eliminated. And during that process, of course, I made a video about this. They did some pretty heavy-handed discounts, and even NIO has apologized for that, saying that they went a bit too hard on discounts. So some of the sales for NT1 cars during that period of time was heavily discounted, and especially starting in February, that's when they officially made it more prominent and told everybody about those discounts. So those customers that bought an NT 1.0 car in February, they got a pretty good deal. Obviously, that also means as shareholders, you're going to see lower margins, lower vehicle margins. But of course, NIO got a lot of backlash, and they tried to remedy the situation. So instead of offering discounts, they sold NT1 cars in bulk to companies, a B2B kind of operation. But this is also discounted as well. So what you guys got to keep in mind is that there were a lot of promos for NT1 cars in Q1 to get rid of inventory, basically. Factor number 4 to keep in mind, one of the biggest problems with EVs here in China is range anxiety, and also lining up for chargers. It's just incredibly inconvenient to go long distances with a EV. So and especially during holiday seasons, the chargers are just, especially on highways, there's just massive lines for that. NIO wanted to encourage people to switch to an EV. This was a big problem that they wanted to solve, and the way they solved it was by offering swapping free during these major holidays. Now, every NIO owner has either 4 or 6 free battery swaps per month forever. And if you go over that limit, you got to pay extra. You got to pay money for that. But during Chinese New Year and also recently during the May holiday, even if you go over that limit, it's still free. So you can travel from like Beijing, drive all the way down to Hainan, 20 swaps on the trip on the way there, and not pay a single dime. And highways free during the holiday season. So highways free, also swapping is free. NIO made swapping free, and this really made NIO the primary good option for going long distances. So if you want to buy EV that wants to go, and you're worried that it's not going to be able to get you to long distances where you want to go, especially during holiday, then you should get a NIO. But that also meant that there's massive cash burn from that as well. NIO did around 50,000 swaps per day, free swaps per day during Chinese New Year. So that's a tremendous amount of money, all right? About roughly 5 million RMB pure electricity fees per day, pure electricity fee per day. And this is not including rent and human costs and all sorts of other the cost for building the swap station, etc., etc. So that's a lot of money that they're spending out to promote their swapping network and make people buy their car to be able to have no range anxiety, essentially. Some NIO owners are actually against this, against holiday season free battery swap, because it causes a lot of swapping lineup. Guys that bought before 2020 and before 2020, we get unlimited free battery swap for life. So it's all free for us anyways. So I can understand why some of these NIO owners really don't want a huge battery swap lineup, and especially during holiday seasons, during Chinese New Year, some of the swap stations had like 20-something NIOs, 22 NIOs lined up for battery swap, and the wait times is just not that great. And of course, part of that reason is, of course, it being completely free. If they only had 6 free swaps per month, they'll run out pretty fast, and they'll have to pay for swaps or go charge. So I can understand why some people are against. All right, enough about factor 4. Factor number 5, this one's pretty obvious, and this one you guys probably know about this, and is, of course, the product mix is more towards the cheaper sedan now. And in Q1 of 2022, the ET7 was just about to start delivery in March. So a lot of the products sold was mainly Gen 1 cars. ES6 was the dominant one. That is much higher priced than the ET5, which the ET5 right now is the more dominant car being sold in Q1 of 2023. So straight off the bat, you can understand how the product mix, the average selling price has lowered due to more ET5s being sold. That would also affect revenue in general. So what is my personal opinion about earnings, the earnings coming up? And I want to tell you guys, don't put your expectations too high, all right? If you're expecting over here and NIO cheese over here, you're going to get disappointed. If you're expecting down here and you get this, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So lower your expectations, please. So what do I personally expect? Well, I expect very, very big losses. I expect vehicle margins to decrease, potentially even go negative like Xpeng did. We could potentially see one of the worst quarters in NIO's history, and I think Q2, which we're in right now, might be even worse than Q1, but that's for the future. We might be seeing one of the worst earnings quarters so far in NIO's history, loss-wise. Could potentially see that because they're also working on a lot of other stuff. Like they're working on the phones, they're working on headphones, they're working on NT3. They're trying to start 2 other car brands, right? There are 2 sub-brands. Starting 2 car companies is very expensive. Try starting one. Go ahead right now. You go put your phone down, go start a car company. How much is it going to cost you? Now multiply that by 2. You get the picture. So they're going to be spending a lot of money. That's what I'm expecting, and I put my expectations way down here so that I can be pleasantly surprised if they achieve over here. But overall, we might be seeing one of the worst quarters ever so far. But just keep in mind that a lot of this, what they're doing is for the future. The swap station deployment, everything, and NIO's vehicles in general are very good cars. Also, they've expanded a lot in Q1 as well. store wise and also swap station wise. So guys, once again, keep your expectations low and you'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, don't forget to like the video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.